a little kid came chasing me and asking for my autograph. And that means that we go to a lot of our friends, our family, our supporters, and have to ask for money a lot. Where you put your money really speaks to what your values are. My name's Sarah Hoffman. I'm the NDP MLA for Edmonton Glenora. I have been since 2015, and I love to spend time outside and with my friends and enjoy Edmonton's festival season. Oh, my parents were both teachers, and that was the one of the careers that I thought I'd pursue. I actually did a math degree first, and then a religion degree, and then an after degree in education. And I want to create macro change. I want to try to create as much change for the better as possible. And I think there's no better way than being involved in a political party and bringing forward policy ideas that'll bring a positive change for folks. I chose the NDP because on the things that are most important to me, healthcare, education, being a social safety net to help each other if times get tough. The NDP has always stood up for those values. And in fact, the NDP brought Medicare to Canada, and I'm really proud of that legacy, and I want to see it strengthened and expanded. Well, MLAs do a lot. No 2 days are the same. We're in the legislature a lot of the time. We're also in the community. I spend time in this office notarizing papers to help people who need official documents, and definitely go to a lot of community events. I write grant applications or help with grant applications for organizations that want to do more good in the community. But the thing that people probably think about the most is that we debate and vote on the provincial budget as well as any bills. And if you're lucky enough to get to bring forward a bill, which I did when I was the health minister, you get to put your ideas into a proposal that could become a law. And many of my ideas did. There is no typical day, to be honest. In the fall and in the spring, we're in the legislature a lot. We're there Mondays to Thursdays, always afternoons, often evenings, sometimes mornings, and that's where the bills come forward, the ideas come forward for consideration. The budget is probably the bill or set of bills that we debate the most because where you put your money really speaks to what your values are. But other days, like this time of year, I host events and I attend other people's events. I meet with individuals to discuss the issues that they're trying to navigate and advocate for them, and write letters of support or make phone calls to try to get the types of programs, people to be able to access the programs that would support them. So, for example, a lot of Edmontonians are really struggling around affordable housing right now. So, my constituency manager, Tanya, and I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to help people get affordable housing, and some people have unique circumstances like pets or children. So every situation's a little different. I like that every day is interesting. It's hard to predict what tomorrow's going to bring. And I like that. I like that there's the human factor in what I do, and that it's a challenge. It keeps me thinking and it keeps me on my toes. So I really enjoy that. And the other thing is that I get to live my values. Like, I'm literally elected to talk about what my values are and the community's values. And not every workplace are you encouraged to be that open about yourself and what you believe, but it's actually my job. One thing I'd like to change. We did some significant legislative work around trying to take the big money out of politics when we were first elected, and we banned donations from corporations, so businesses can't give money anymore. We also banned donations from unions, um, to sort of even that out. And I think that that was a wise thing, but fundraising is so important. Like in North American politics, the only way to get your message out is to have people on the phones, buy advertising, especially with social media right now. And as much as you think your own social media might be engaging, you have to buy ads if you want people to see it. So it's very expensive. And that means that we go to a lot of our friends, our family, our supporters, and have to ask for money a lot. And I'm used to it now, but I still don't think it's a great thing about politics. I wish that we had a model, maybe like some other European countries, where it sort of evens the playing field. And when I think about, because one of the things I've done a lot of over the years is candidate recruitment, and I've been really focused with Rachel Notley's blessing, and I look forward to Naheed Nenchi's blessing on this too, on seeking out equity-seeking candidates. So people from racialized communities, people who are queer, women, and others who are underrepresented in the legislature. And the idea of fundraising is often very daunting for them. And we can help each other. Absolutely. I believe in that and I do that. But I think that there are certain people who don't even try because they're worried that they won't be able to raise the money. And that's something that I hope North America wide that we work to address. I don't really live my life thinking thinking back with regrets. I always try to look forward. So one of the really nice things about being an elected is that you have a job on a contract. Basically, I was given a 4-year contract in the last provincial election. I have a finite amount of time to try to do as much good as I can for the community and for the province. And So I look forward a lot. I guess if I had to pick one regret, I think when we formed government in 2015, it took us a while to figure out how to move some of the levers of government because we'd never been government before. So there are a few things that I would do much more quickly. We were building a public lab, but it took us about a year to figure out how to negotiate the contracts to get out of the privatizing and to start contracts with the construction companies. I wish I could have done that a little bit faster. And if we're ever back in government, I absolutely will. So at work is very broad for me because the community is my workplace as well. And I will say that my favorite days are when people come up to me, often children, and they say that they're excited to meet me and tell me something that I may have done to help make their life better. For example, I help make a specific type of formula that's for babies that have very sensitive diets that were allergic even to their mother's milk, even when their moms made lots of dietary restrictions. We brought that on as basically as a drug rather than, even though it's food, it was medicine for those babies, and we made it publicly available. And when those moms or those children come up to me and tell me that we helped, save their digestive system, make their life a lot better, it puts a big smile on my face. That's just one example, but there's lots of days like that and lots of different areas where you can help people, and that's very fulfilling. Public interaction. Yeah, it would probably be moments like that. I remember in the 2015 election knocking on somebody's door. They pledged their support. I was leaving about two doors down. A little kid came chasing me and asking for my autograph. And it's just when I was a little girl, like that little girl, I didn't have a lot of women in politics that I knew, and there just weren't that many women in politics in general. So seeing these little girls see maybe a little bit of themselves in the work that I do is incredibly rewarding. The Peter Hemingway pool has been under construction for renovations for about 5 years now. So I am pressing our city councilor and other councilors to make sure that pool gets reopened. It's right beside Rochep. I know that it's been a great asset for the surrounding community and also for the high school students who go there. So I know Scona had a pool right next door to it for many years, and it breaks my heart that that's not there anymore, because I think there's so many opportunities when we have access to public resources like that connected to public education that are life-changing. So I'm keen to get that pool reopened. There's some work along 124th Street that I think will help it be even more beautiful that I'm working on as well. But broadly, healthcare and education are those founding things that brought me to the NDP, and making sure that we have more public hospitals here in the city of Edmonton so that those that are close to my riding aren't quite as busy, like the Misericordia and the Alex. If we actually have when we have a new South Edmonton hospital after the NDP is elected, it'll take pressure off those. We'll all be able to have better care. But we need to make sure that we work with family physicians and other allied health professionals to make sure that public health care is here, that it's strong, that they are respected by their government, that they're fairly compensated. Because it doesn't matter if we build a bunch of buildings if we can't attract the staff that we need. And when I was the health minister, you could get a family doctor at any major municipality in Alberta. And I know we can get back to that. I know doctors want to get back to that. They just deserve a government that's going to get there with them. So that'll make life better for everyone in Edmonton, Glenora. And that's something I'm very excited about. So I didn't even know that I wanted to be a politician. I just knew that I wanted to help make the world better. So I found a candidate who was running provincially at that time that I agreed with, Brian Mason, and I volunteered for him. I liked that he was standing up for issues around affordability. At that time, I was paying my first power bill, and I couldn't believe how expensive it was. And he was talking a lot about something that I knew would make a difference in my life. He also talked a lot about tuition. And Raj Panu was somebody else that I volunteered for later. He was a retired professor at the university, and I met him because he came to one of the rallies that we organized as university students to fight against tuition increases. So that's what got me on this path, is showing up, meeting somebody. If you see a politician that you like, go over and tell them you like them. Go over and say, I'd like to get to know you better, maybe even help you. And volunteering is what brought me closer to realizing that I could actually be a candidate one day. And when Raj Panu asked me to, when Rachel Notley asked me to, that sort of put a lot of wind in my sails, and then I knew that I could do it. So yeah, if you want to run, I'd say start by volunteering, because that's where you're going to have the best experiences. You're going to learn a lot, and it's also where you're going to find people who share your values, and some of those people have become lifelong friends for me.